Okay, I'm going to give out the answers from the 2 practice paper I gave out last week. Ready? Question 1, Canada. 2, Bombay. 3, Canada. 4, Australia. 5, Denmark. 6, Australia. 7, Australia. 8, Bombay. 9, Canada. 10, Bombay. 11, Canada. 12, Australia. 13, Australia. 14, Bombay. 15, Denmark. 16, Bombay. 17, Denmark. 18, Canada. 19, Australia. 20, Bombay. 21, Australia. 22, Denmark. 23, Australia. 24, Bombay. 25, Bombay. 26, Denmark. 27, Canada. 28, Denmark. 29, Bombay. 30, Australia. 31, Bombay. 32, Denmark. 33, Denmark. 34, Canada. 35, Canada. 36, Bombay. 37, Bombay. 38, Canada. 39, Australia. 40, Canada. Okay, can you count the number of marks? I want to see. I want to know. Again, your goal is always try to aim for full marks. It can be done. And I already said already, I've seen a lot of students because MCQs, they score near full marks or full marks, they actually jump 2 grades. And that is really a lot. Okay, come. Christine, how you do? 31. Must push near full marks. Oh, by the way, it's out 38 for this paper, right? Next one, Serafina, how you do? Dre? Sorry. Yeah. 32, push near full marks. Okay, 38, sorry, out 38. You, 30. Okay, come. Class, can we go through? Question 1 to 3. Anybody need me to go through from question 1 to 3? No? 4 to 6. 4 to 6. No? 7 to 10? 10. So let's see 10. So they say, which of the following samples collected from a random individual may give a break rate PBT? Break rate PBT means they're reducing sugars, right? Blood definitely or reducing sugars, I will not say. Saliva should not have, because saliva only has enzymes, and you should know enzymes are only made out of proteins, right? Tissue fluid, again, you will also have glucose or other reducing sugars. They are small enough to pass through your blood capillaries to be bathed into your tissue fluid before they enter your tissue cells. Understand? Secretions from the walls or duodenum is your intestinal juice. Intestinal juice again only contains your enzymes, so which are made of proteins. Answer should only be 1 and 3. Next one, question 11 to 13. Anybody? 11 to 13. 12. Let's see. They say, again, a freshly picked leaf is placed in a sealed test tube with some hydrogen carbonate indicator solution. The tube is kept in the light during the day, so the indicator changes color as shown. Notice how already they say if it's the amount of carbon dioxide is lesser or lower than normal, it will turn purple. If it's more than normal, it will turn red. So you think about it, at midday is like you have very, very high light intensity, right? Rate of photosynthesis should exceed rate of your respiration, right? So wouldn't that actually absorb more carbon dioxide? So that's why it will be purple. Midnight, I don't need to mention already, you have higher rates of respiration, no photosynthesis, so it should be yellow. Clear? Next one, 13 to 15. Anybody? 13 to 15. Let's see. 15, we have here, these are 2 types of plant cells. You should already know that X is your xylem because you can see the lignified walls. Y is actually your phloem, alright? Because you can see how we have the sieve tube. Now, next one, they say which of the expected results will you see? In your X, right, you should not have any reducing sugar nor starch because it's your xylem here, right, dear? So that's why I know anything that says positive is wrong. Based on that, you should know D is the answer already. But you should know Y should not have any of your Benedict solution positive test because your Y is your phloem, and phloem only transports carbohydrates in the form of sucrose. Sucrose is not a reducing sugar. Neither will it have starch. So that's why all negative. 16 to 18. 16 Bombay, 17 Denmark. Okay, 16, 17? No? 17. So let's see. How does the structure of the leaf reduce water loss in this plant? Notice how you have seen that your stomata are sunken in. So if your stomata are ever sunken in, right? And then you also have hair, okay, that is located, alright, in this unique particular leaf. We already know that, first of all, having a leaf curd is a good thing. Because if your leaf curd, you are actually trapping all the water vapor even though they transpire out through the stomata, right? Creating that humid environment one. Agree? Wouldn't that actually decrease transpiration? Next one, stomata sunken in, I already mentioned. It's also to create, okay, your this, what do you call that? The humid environment. The hairs along, they trap water vapor, yes, because they actually prevent or minimize air movement, so they will definitely trap water vapor. So it's in fact all of the above. Okay, 18 to 20. 18 to 20. 20. So again, let's see, 20, they say apparatus shown below was set up for a respiration experiment. So we have soda lime to absorb this carbon dioxide. Okay, then we also have again, so we have your germinating seeds. So germinating seeds can only undergo this respiration here. So which of the following describes the movement of the indicator fluid in the capillary tube? So the first one, they say moves away from this test tube. If you move away from a test tube because oxygen output by the seeds do not actually release oxygen, okay, so you will never move away. All right, you move towards the test tube because oxygen intake, that is actually true, okay, so you actually use up more oxygen. Whatever carbon dioxide was already absorbed by the soda lime, but that's why B so far is the answer. Let's see C. Move towards the test tube because carbon dioxide intake. Again, seeds do not undergo photosynthesis. Okay, so that's why C is wrong. Next one, does not move because the carbon dioxide intake and oxygen output are equal. So again, does not move because again, you think about this, I already mentioned there is no rate of photosynthesis. It should not be equal. Okay, answer is B. Next one, question 21 to 23, anybody? 22. So the diagram below shows a glomerulus and a Bowman capsule of a mammalian nephron. Which of the following describes what will happen if the diameter of the blood vessel is enlarged at X? So again, first one, so we have here, they say enlarge. If the diameter is enlarged, wouldn't that decrease the hydrostatic pressure of the glomerulus? So there will be lesser ultrafiltration taking place, right? So first of all, they say more sodium will appear in the urine. That makes no sense because already there's lesser ultrafiltration. Lesser of these mineral ions will pass through and enter your Bowman's capsule. Lesser glucose appear. You should not even have any glucose if this is a healthy individual. Next one, water reabsorption will decrease. No, the idea is rate of urine production will be reduced. Because you think about this, lesser ultrafiltration, volume will definitely decrease. Okay? Next one, question 23 to 25. 23 to 25, 26, 24. So let's see 24. Notice how I already mentioned negative feedback system before. Negative feedback is always from response to receptor. It's even in my notes, alright? So the only one where you see a response is point number 4, right? And then you will go to your receptor. Hopefully you know is to induce your 1 to produce less 2. That's called negative feedback. You're supposed to oppose to the change. Okay, so that's why answer should be only B. Clear? Next one, question 25 to 27. 26, let's see. So this trigeminal nerve in humans connects the brain with the teeth and with the skin of the face. When the dentist administers a local anesthetics by injection, you can no longer feel pain and cannot smile properly. Again, they already say cannot feel pain, you cannot smile properly. Cannot smile properly, that means something about the motor neuron is already infected, right? Agree? So, but let's see, because you never know. Let's see the best answer. Remember I say for these 4 options, sometimes you're not looking for the perfect answer, but you're seeing the best option out of the 4. Okay, now, anyway, first one, they say the Germinal nerve carries impulses from brain to the teeth and back to the brain. When they already say carries impulses from brain to the teeth and back to the brain, it doesn't show you the end point, which is actually the muscles of the cheek. So A, right, is definitely wrong. Okay, next one, let's see B. B, they mentioned that the trigeminal nerve contains only sensory neurons. Should not be because you're supposed to go to the end point where you cannot smile properly. Isn't that your effector muscles? So that's why B is definitely wrong. Next one, trigeminal nerve contains only motor neurons. I will not say that because do you know why? They already mentioned is that when I put a local anesthetic, okay, you can no longer feel pain. No longer feel pain isn't that supposed to be part of your sensory neuron so you can send to the relay neuron in the brain so you can interpret the pain sensation? So that's why C, right, they say only motor neuron is wrong. So I rather choose D because it should have both sensory and motor. If not, why would it say will not feel pain and cannot smile properly? So both neurons are. Question 27 to 30. 28, let's see. So we have here the recording of the results when the student was blindfolded. The skin in his fingertip and the palm of his hand and forearm were then touched several times by 2 pencil points, either 1 cm or 2 cm apart. During the recording, instances inaccurately say he's been touched at only 1 point. So the table below shows the number of times he accurately say he had been touched by 2 points. Let's see which of the following conclusion could be made from the above results. First one, they say A. Remember, we have to choose the best option based on the results that we see here. So A, they say that only a few touch receptors were present in the skin of the palm. Cannot be, because if not, then how you can actually feel the number of times, right? Agree. So I cannot choose this, and I also do not know. They say no touch receptors found on the forearm, then how will he be able to say that he's been touched? So B also wrong. C, touch receptors were closer together in the skin of the forearm. So again, they say touch receptors are closer together in skin or forearm. No, because do you see the number of times it felt 2 pencil points is always the fingertip? 100%. So you should have the most touch receptors, right? Agree, to be honest. So I cannot choose C. So I rather choose D because 100% of times it felt the 2 pencil points. So it means the touch receptors are so close, every single point of touch you can actually detect already. Okay? Next one, 29 to 31. No? 32. 32. So they say here, diagram shows a comparison between nervous control and endocrine control. Please take note, you should know already, the one that is purely nervous control is pupil reflex, right? There is no part of things that involve this hormonal system. Increasing blood glucose is your Easters and Langerhans is purely hormonal. So that's why you should know why it should be your pupil reflex, your X should be your increasing blood glucose level. So the only thing we are left is actually your secretion of adrenaline. Think about this. For example, if a ferocious dog actually charged towards you, then you have an adrenaline rush. Isn't that, again, the sight of the dog, again, going to trigger the photoreceptors of your retina to detect? Then you interpret to your, again, the pituitary, the adrenal gland to secrete adrenaline hormone. The adrenaline hormone is the one that's going to trigger, again, your high rate, okay, of heart rate, okay, or your this, again, to prepare your body for fight or flight. Okay, so that's why answer is D. Okay, next one. No need to do 33 and 34, but let's see. 35 to 36. Anybody? No. 37 to 40. 38. So let's see. So some fruit flies have orange eyes, okay, and others have red eyes. If 2 orange eyes were crossed, their offsprings are always orange eyes. So far, I do not know whether orange is a dominant trait or recessive trait. But do you look at this? If 2 red eyes were crossed, their offspring sometimes have both orange eye and red eye flies. So it already tells you that which one is actually a dominant trait. Again, your red eye, your orange should be a recessive trait one. If not, how come 2 red eyes, okay, can have an orange eye? Agree? So isn't that also telling you it might be a heterozygous cross with a heterozygous, you get a 3:1 ratio? which is also makes sense, what, right? Okay, so which are the following conclusion from this observation? I repeat, whenever you want to come out with a conclusion, it may not be the best option. It might not be the perfect option, but you always choose the best out of the four. Okay, next one. Let's see what can be concluded from this observation. Here, crossing an orange eye with a red eye will produce 1:1 ratio in the offspring. Think about this. This is actually let's say your heterozygous cross with homozygous recessive is also still a 3:1 ratio, what? Right? And then your homozygous dominant cross with homozygous recessive is all heterozygous, what? You will never have a 1:1. 1:1 is only for what? Test cross, what, right? Agree? But will I know whether this red eye is actually, again, heterozygous or homozygous recessive? Don't know yet, right? I cannot conclude from A yet, right? Agree? Next one, B. There are more orange eye fruit. This one is definitely wrong. Okay, how will you know? You do not know. Not enough information to say. The allele for red eye is dominant. Definitely. From already, the second cross that we see is clearly going to be a dominant trait because we know orange eye should be recessive. Next one, we could determine which allele is dominant only by doing a cross that produces a 3:1 ratio. So for this, they mentioned if I produce a 3:1, how come I cannot determine if it's a test cross? Test cross also can determine what? Agree? Whether which allele is actually dominant. Or maybe I do a true breeding cross. That means homozygous dominant cross with homozygous recessive, I see what is the ratio, what, right? I will know which one is actually dominant already, what? So out of A, B, C, D, I rather choose C because it's the most, again, unambiguous answer. Okay? Okay, next one, 39 to 40. 39, so let's see. Diagram shows a foot web. Which of the following statements about the foot web is incorrect? They say the beetle, spider, leaf-eating insect belong to the same trophic level. Beetle, spider, leaf-eating insect. Oh, okay, yes, they do belong to the same, okay, because you can see the beetle is in the third trophic level, right? Agree? Your beetle is the third trophic level, spider is the third, but leaf-eating insect is the second. So incorrect, what? The question is asking for incorrect, right? So be careful, class. Better circle in exam. You should know all the rest are correct. Do I need to explain? No need? Do I? No need. Okay, 40? No? Okay, come, help me mark the second one. Ready? Question 1, Australia. 2, Canada. 3, Canada. 4, Canada. 5, Bombay. 6, Bombay. 7, Australia. 8, Canada. 9, Denmark. 10, Bombay. 11, Canada. 12, Canada. 13, Canada, my bad. 14, Australia. 15, Bombay. 16, Denmark. 17, Canada. 18, Denmark. 19, Bombay. 20, Canada. 21, Bombay. 22, Australia. 23, Canada. 24, Bombay. 25, Bombay. 26, Bombay. 27, Denmark. 28, Bombay. 29, Australia. 30, Bombay. 31, Bombay. 32, Australia. 33, Bombay. 34, Canada. 35, Denmark. 36, Denmark. 37, Denmark. 38, Canada. 39, Australia. 40, Australia. Okay, count for me. Okay, what you do? How you do, Christine? Sorry? Oh, 40, correct. Right. Yes. What are you doing? 28. You? J. 22. You? 32. You? 31. Come, let's go through. Question 1 to 3. Anybody? 3. So we have here cell wall, nucleus, starch grains. They say what are the colors of the cell wall of the staining. You should know already. Cell walls should actually contain no starch. So it's yellowish brown, right? Agree? And then later starch grain is the starch what? How can you get this wrong? Please, okay. 4 to 6. 4 is Canada, correct? Okay. So what does the fruit contain? Definitely got reducing sugar because your Benedict solution is green in color. It's just low in concentration. Also got proteins, right? Since Biuret solution is violet. No fats, right? So answer is protein and reducing sugar there. Next one. 5 to 6.
5 and 6.
Notice how if I have a final weight over initial weight for your y-axis at 1.0, there is no net change in weight, right? If there is no net change in weight at 1.0, means that this potato is actually placed in an isotonic solution, meaning same exact water potential as its cell set, right? So if you look at 1 and you dot dot dot, isn't it about minus 0.8 MPa? So take note, so that's why answer is P. Clear? Next one at 6. They already say the bacteria is actually, again, required only amino acid 1 in order to produce all other amino acids. That means regardless, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in order to survive. Agree? So if you look at this one, they say only could survive when provided with amino acids 1, 2, and 5 for the mutant strain. That means what enzyme should be missing in the mutant strain? So let's see. They say that if the option A is you are missing enzyme V and X, let's try. You missing enzyme V doesn't matter because you are already provided with 1 and 2, right? V only produces 2, right? But you notice how X, right, is missing. If X is actually missing, that means you are unable to synthesize this amino acid 3. But you are not provided with amino acid 3. This mutant strain should not be able to survive at all. So option A is wrong. Anything with X is straight away wrong. So C is also wrong. That's why I say do by elimination. Next one, let's see D first. So in D, they say V, W, and Z are missing. So let's see. V missing, never mind, because I'm already provided with amino acid 2. Your Z missing, never mind, because I'm already provided with amino acid 5. But if W is actually missing, means I'm unable to synthesize your amino acid 4. So it means that we will not survive. So answer is only B. Understand? V and Z. 7 to 10.
9.
Now this one, I already said this is an example where you have to choose the best option out of the 4. Alright? The idea is, we know this 2 is this gallbladder. Okay? Gallbladder merely stores, alright, this bile. But do you agree the bile duct is still intact? And in a way, this liver is the one that produces your bile. There could have some bile, okay, actually secreted via the bile duct directly. Okay? But let's say, if you do not know, isn't the answer actually more direct is actually option D? Because release of bile cannot be regulated. That is true because I can no longer store bile. Then secrete bile whenever necessary. But your oil can still be emulsified because gallbladder merely stores bile in order to release bile whenever necessary. But again, without your gallbladder, you are just releasing bile continuously, whatever your liver just made. Okay? So answer is D. Next one, 10 to 12. 11. At which point in the graph is light intensity a limiting factor? Yeah. Again, you notice how light intensity, if you want it to be a limiting factor, that means any change in its quantity will affect the rate, right? So shouldn't the answer be P and Q? P and Q, right? Do you see if my light intensity changes, your rate of photosynthesis changes? But if you look at R, okay, how come, again, we cannot choose R and S? Any increase in light intensity did not change, So that's why. 12 to 15, 12. So they say the pathway of water from soil through the plant is shown below. So a soil, X, Y, Z, and mesophyll cells, which cells are represented by X, Y, and Z. So the rays should know every time you go from soil, you only can enter the plant through the root hair cell, right? So C and D are confirmed wrong, right? Next one, you need to enter your cortex cell, or is it enter your this xylem? You need to enter your cortex cell because your xylem is not directly next to your root hair cells there. So cortex cell is the inner cells of your roots. So you can eventually reach your xylem, so you can go up to your leaf for your mesophyll cells. Okay? So answer for 12 can only be A. 13 to 16, anybody? 14. So we have here the amount of bromide taken up by plant under the following conditions. If sugar is actually absent, oxygen is present. We know that there is no bromide being uptaken at all, right? Sugar absent already tells you, can you undergo respiration at all? No, right? So that's why we know that, again, this one straight away is purely by active transport. So you know that the second and third column will prove that active transport is necessary, what? Because second column is just for anaerobic respiration, releases low amount of energy. Third one is or the last column is your aerobic respiration, release more energy. The more energy I release, the more bromide can be uptaken. So it's purely by active transport. Clear? Next one. 15 to 17. 17. Notice how the bulges that you see here is actually your position where your veins is, because your veins are all closed at that particular point to prevent backflow of blood. You should know already the direction of blood flow should be from your palm towards your arm. That's your veins, right? So imagine if I were to press down a finger at W and I push blood along W to Y, you are pushing blood forward. Blood can no longer go backward, okay, because of the presence of valves in Y. Your vein kind of disappears since there should have not been any blood there. But let's see the possible reasons why the vein disappears. Bandage at P prevents backflow. No, your bandage at P is never to try to prevent backflow. It's just to restrict blood flow so this vein can become more conspicuous. Okay? For 2, your finger press at W prevents more blood from entering. Yeah, that is true, what? Because direction of blood flow is from palm to your arm, right? So that's why we know that 2 is correct. Valve at Y prevents blood flow. Correct. Valve at Z prevents more blood from entering. No. Valve at Z is actually prevent backflow of blood. It's never to prevent blood from entering. So answer is 2 and 3. Next one, 18 to 20. 18. So a sample of expired air is collected in a gas jar. Another gas jar contains atmospheric air. A lighted candle is placed inside each of the gas jar. Time taken for the flame to go out is measured. You notice how, again, they said in gas jar X and Y, the time taken for flame to go out is longer in X. So what could be the explanation? We should know already to burn is oxygen one. So that's why answer can only be this which one? Because they say, right, both are contain your expired air, right, and one is atmospheric air. So isn't expired air containing more carbon dioxide, lesser oxygen? So which one is the one that is your expired air? Y lah. Gas jar Y, right? Gas jar Y is the one that contains expired air which has less oxygen. We never look at carbon dioxide to burn stuff. So answer is D. 19 to 21. No. 22 to 25. No. 26 to 28. You can do 28. Just saying. 29 to 30. No. No. 30. Some characteristics of wind-pollinated flowers are given below. Flowers are odorless. Stamens are large, feathery, protrude out of the flower. Pollen grains have smooth surfaces, tiny and light, which are the likely characteristics of wind-pollinated flowers. Wind-pollinated flowers, you should know already. Isn't it again, stamens got large and feathery meh? Or is it stigma? Okay, so 1, 3, yeah. 31 to 35. Anybody? 31 to 35. No. 36 to 40. 37. So let's see 37. Diagram shows a pair of chromosomes at the same cell. So you should know this is a pair of homologous chromosomes. P is the gene loci. What do we learn about this gene loci of homologous chromosome? They may code for the same gene. I give you an example. Same gene can be your same blood type. But again, can they actually have, again, must be the same allele? No what? For example, it can be heterozygous, can be IA-IO or IA-IB. So we know that, again, the site of your genes, this is the site of genes because gene codes for the same traits like blood type. Okay? But they can be made up of 2 or more alleles that are always the same. No, it's always different or can be different. So answer can only be D. 38 to 40. Anybody? No? Okay. Now, so we need to practice. My goal is actually practice 2 papers at least. Okay, you have me pass down. Anyway, for this, I'm only going to give you a period of 45 minutes to complete this paper. I'm not going to give you the full 1 hour because it can be done. So train yourself. Your 45 minutes starts now. You're about 30 minutes. You have about 25 minutes. You're done? Actually, who is not done? Now I can also go through earlier. For about 21 minutes. you all done? Can I at least go through? Then we can try. We good. Help me mark, please. Ready? Question 1, Canada. 2, Australia. 3, Bombay. 4, Canada. 5, Australia. 6, Denmark. 7, Denmark. 8, Australia. 9, Denmark. 10, Canada. 11, Canada. 12, Denmark. 13, Denmark. 14, Australia. 15, Bombay. 16, Canada. 17, Canada. 18, Denmark. 19, Australia. 20, Bombay. 21, Denmark. 22, Australia. 23, Canada. 24, Denmark. 25, Bombay. 26, Australia. 27, Australia. 28, Denmark. 29, Canada. 30, Australia. 31, Denmark. 32, Canada. 33, Canada. 34, Denmark. 35, Bombay. 36, Australia. 37, Denmark. 38, Denmark. 39, Bombay. 40, Australia. Okay, can you complete for me? 29, Canada. Okay. 13, Denmark. Okay, how you do? Jared, can do all questions. So 36. Try to always aim near full marks. You, Christine, Serafina. 31. Try to aim for near full marks. Your this goal is 38 and above. Okay. Okay, come. Let's go through. Question 1, 2, 3. Anybody? 3. Let's see 3. Sorry? 2. Let's see 2 first. Okay, they say which cells contain DNA. Gut cells got nucleus, right? As long as you got nucleus, you contain DNA, right? Xylem and sieve tube cells do not have DNA because they have no nucleus at all. Answer is 1 and 2, dear. Okay. Next one, question 3. Notice how we have eventually solution P drops, solution Q rise in levels. What does it already tell you? It means that solution P must have higher water potential than your this solution Q, right? So it can move inwards. Not only that, they also mentioned that the potato flesh have the same concentration to the salt solution as 0.4. So let's see. If I already know that P and Q, if P can actually enter your this potato flesh, means that it has higher water potential than potato flesh, means also that the concentration should be lower, right? Anything tells me that it's the same concentration or higher is straight away wrong. So C and D definitely wrong. Okay. Next one, Q. Notice how in order for your this potato to have osmosis, so you can enter from potato into solution Q, means that your this potato must have a higher water potential than solution Q. So if you have a higher water potential in solution Q, that means it must be lower salt solution than Q. So answer is only A. Okay. Next one. Question 4 to 6. 4 to 6. No. 7 to 10. 7 to 10. 9. Let's see 9. Notice how this is an agar made out of starch. 1 and 2 and 3. Only 2 have blue black. Let's try. For the first one, if 2 have blue black, that means there's digestion, right? Agree? Straight away, I know B is wrong because stomach juice contains protease that should not have digested your this starch. Agree? So we only left with B, C, D. But the next thing is, you have your 1. Do you agree for 1, they say they remain blue black, also cannot contain again saliva. So I know B is also wrong, okay? So far, your A is also incorrect. Reason, blue black. So if you actually turn blue black, why A is incorrect? Because pancreatic juice by the way contains pancreatic amylase, can digest starch into maltose one. But they say they remain blue black, so that's why A is also wrong. Now we left with C and D. Now the question is, intestinal juice do not contain any amylase left. Intestinal juice contains sucrase, maltase, and your this lactase. They are the ones that digest that. They do not digest starch at all. So that's why I know C is wrong. The only answer I can accept is D. Understand? 10 to 12. Then, so we have here patient's blood require blood transfusion. X and Y donations were accepted, but donor Z was rejected. Which option shows the possible blood groups of these three donors? So we already know X and Y donation. That means I donate blood, you always donate red blood cells, right? So they say that if this person, right, is blood group B and you donate blood to this blood group B, the recipient is always look at your antibodies. So you understand? So answer for your 10 can only be C. Next one. 13 to 15. No. 16 to 18. No. 19 to 21. Which one is true regarding your voluntary and reflex action? Please take note. They say both action involve the transmission of nerve impulses to the brain. Not necessarily must always be the brain, right? Sometimes can be spinal cord as well. Okay? Reflex action usually quicker than voluntary action. That is definitely true. I cannot debunk that. Right? Next one, reflex action may or may not be consciously controlled. It should not be consciously controlled. Agree? So C is wrong. Next one, voluntary actions are initiated by stimulation of receptors. No, voluntary actions are initiated by the brain. Is the reflex action initiated by stimulation of receptors? Okay? 21 to 25. 21 to 25. No? 26 to 30.
27 and
27. So let's see. Do you have radioactive carbon dioxide? So the idea is that, do you see how X, the region of X is removed? Only phloem is actually removed. Okay? So radioactive carbon dioxide can undergo photosynthesis, okay, and then it will be converted into carbohydrates that will contain the radioactive carbon. However, when it is converted into sucrose, sucrose cannot be transported to the phloem below the leaf one, below X. So it can only be transported up above X one because the phloem is still intact. Agree? So that's why anything that says below or the roots is straight away wrong. To be honest, answer is only A, but let me explain. Phosphorus is only absorbed at the roots, right? So phosphorus can go up, the xylem is still intact. Agree? So to be honest, as long as you convert into your this amino acids, okay, or your this, because you know what, translocation amino acids also transported, right? So idea is that they only can be transported in the phloem, so also above the X. So answer is A. 28. Notice how they say this is best diagram for biomass. Remember biomass, flea, again, do you think has a large biomass? No what? Biomass is like energy what? It's always broadest at the bottom, narrower towards the apex. This is not asking for pyramid or numbers, so have to be careful. Okay? So all the fleas should be lighter than the wolf. Okay, 29 to 31. 29. We already say which arrow represents respiration. Respiration is every single organism should be able to respire. So I would say answer can only be C, because if I were to see B is like decomposition one, right? To become a fossil fuel eventually. Your A and C, they all undergo the same process. Both P, the idea why I rather choose your P and R is that I would say that P can give rise to R, but both of them undergo the same process, same with your microorganisms, so I rather choose C. Okay, so rather choose C than A, because microorganisms should also, like, let's say if your S is, let's say, your carbon dioxide, atmospheric carbon dioxide, right? Decomposition by Q, which is your microorganisms, could also give rise one. So I rather choose C because it at least involves 2 or more organisms. 30 to 35. 32. So which one shows the number of chromosomes at X, Y, and Z? X, you should know already, should have half because it's an unfertilized egg, right? So it's 13. Anything that says 26 is wrong, so D is wrong. Next one, cell taken from frog should have been diploid. So imagine skin cells or whatever cells, okay? So it should have the same number of chromosomes as normal somatic cells, so 26. But Z is actually nucleus from the egg nucleus from the cell injected into the egg. So based on this, I know the answer can only be C. You know why? Because you take the nucleus from the somatic diploid cell, ma. You're not taking from a gamete. Understand? So the answer is C. Next one, 33 to 36. 33. Which process involves meiosis? Formation of zygote is not meiosis. Formation of zygote is fertilization of fusion of gametes. Production of colon grains is going to form a male gamete, so meiosis definitely need. Production of red blood cells, take note, red blood cells don't even have nucleus, so no meiosis. Okay? Production of sperm, which is actually a male gamete, is also involve meiosis, so answer is only 2 and 4. Next one, 34 to 36. No? 37 to 40. 40. So now they already mentioned that this is a dominant condition, right? From this particular dominant condition, will we be able to decipher for the first generation? That means it's the first row. The father, okay, is affected, but the grandmother is not affected, right? But do you see I have unaffected daughter? The idea is that they say the disease is a dominant trait. The unaffected daughter must be homozygous recessive, small r, for that one, right? So the father must have only be heterozygous, so I can form a homozygous recessive daughter. So if the father is heterozygous, that means that affected daughter in the second row, the affected female in the second row of the family tree must have also been heterozygous one, right? So next thing is such, right? Same thing. The male that is actually unaffected with this affected female, okay, produce an unaffected male. Unaffected male is homozygous recessive, which also shows you that this daughter that is affected in the third row, the only female that is affected in your third row, the third generation, should have been heterozygous, right? Because the father is homozygous recessive, ma. Agree? So if this female is heterozygous, so female is heterozygous and represented by this. The male that she gets affected, you think about this, isn't the male also heterozygous? So male is heterozygous cross with heterozygous, what is the ratio we get? 3:1, right? 3:1, isn't this, again, they're asking which one is the unaffected female, isn't this 25% that's unaffected? So probability that is unaffected female is that 25%. You have to consider what's the probability of being a female. So 0.125. Okay, clear? Okay, let's do the last one. Can you help me pass down, please? Thank you. Each one take one. Same thing, I'm gonna try. I'll give you a period of 40 minutes to try this. Please try to aim for full marks this time, okay? So your period of 40 minutes starts now.
Actually, I give you the can practice paper first. Okay, so you can go back today and try to practice stuff. Okay.
You have about 25 minutes. Yeah. So wait, let's see. Yeah, correct. I'll go through in 2 minutes time. I think most of you are already done. Shall I mark the MCQs? Are you all done? Eureka? Help me mark then. Ready? Question 1, Canada. 2, Bombay. 3, Canada. So 1 Canada, 2 Bombay, 3 Canada, 4 Bombay, 5 Australia, 6 Australia, 7 Denmark, 8 Denmark, 9 Canada, 10 Bombay, 11 Australia, 12 Canada, 13 Bombay, 14 Canada, 15 Australia, 16 Canada, 17 Australia, 18 Canada, 19 Denmark, 20 Denmark, 21 Bombay, 22 Denmark, 23 Denmark, 24 Denmark, 25 Denmark, 26 Denmark, 27 Australia, 28 Australia, 29 Denmark, 30 Bombay, 31 Denmark, 32 Bombay, 33 Bombay, 34 Denmark, 35 Australia, 36 Canada, 37 Canada, 38 Australia, 39 Bombay, 40 Australia. Okay, now there is an error in the question. Just want to point out. For question 18, answer should actually be B. I repeat, question 18, answer should be B. So I need to point out again, 18, the only answer is B. Okay, come. Let me know how you all do. This paper should be near full marks this time. Drea, how do you do? No? You? 31. Try to aim. You? 35. You? 33. So girls, now you know, you need to practice and drill. Okay, come, let's go through. Question 1 to 3, anybody? Sorry? 4. Let's use 4. So again, I repeat already, approximately same water potential as the potato is when there is no change in length. So there is no osmosis, there's no net water moving in to increase the size, there's no net water moving out to decrease the size. So the answer should be when it's at purely 0 mark. Christine, we just did a question very similar to this. Okay, so hopefully no, around 1.5, 0.15. 5 to 7, 8, let's see. Oh, 6 first. So we have here after 30 minutes, which hole will be surrounded by the largest area without starch? The one with the largest area without starch, isn't this going to be a without starch? So only all those amylase can digest starch. Agree? Isn't it going to denature? Okay, 8 is it? So which part is likely to be? I know we can see how carbohydrates decrease slightly. However, do you see this when your proteins first drop? The only position where protein's concentration will first drop is in your stomach. But how come carbohydrates will drop slightly? Let me explain. Because again, this acid can slightly break the bond slightly in this carbohydrates potentially. Okay, but you are looking at your proteins when they first drop. Question 9 to 12. 11. So what happens to the atrioventricular valves? That means again, that is your bicuspid and tricuspid valve between W and X. You notice how at W, this is when your ventricles first have higher pressure than your atrium. So your atrioventricular valves must be closed, right? Semilunar valves, okay, at X is also closed, all right? They will be actually closed because they only open at X. Okay, 12 to 15. No? 15, so let's see. So we have cells and we have V. V brings about carbon dioxide. So you should know already V is only your aerobic respiration. However, I do not know whether is it a yeast cell or human cell. But do I? Yes, because it's a body. So V can only be aerobic respiration. Okay, so we know W, liver, amino acids, liver. Okay, then W and then form Y. Shouldn't that only be deamination of amino acids? And then when you form your Y is again deamination. It will go out through your urea because you will form urea, which will be excreted in your kidneys, right? Only A is in line.
But answer C, right?
Answer is C. Your X again, it cannot be excreted out through the kidneys. Can you take note for 15? Help me change. Answer should only be A. 15 is A what? I never say C what?
Oh.
I say it's A what? 14C, 15A, 16C. Right? You mark correctly? Okay. Okay. Next one, 16 to 18. 17. So we have here which parts of the kidney nephron were fluids P and Q extracted from. So you should know your fluids P, alright, is you have 0 glucose, so it cannot be your glomerulus already because glomerulus got glucose, alright. So we also know it cannot be your collecting duct. That's right, it can be your collecting duct or your proximal convoluted tubule. Let's see your Q. Q still have glucose, right? So if Q still have glucose, again, how can Q be your collecting duct when by right should be all glucose already reabsorbed at the proximal convoluted tubule? So the best answer is to choose A. Okay. 18 to 22. 18. So we have here, notice how I want to see the hormone. Huh? Do you see it's only when the hormone rise, then your blood glucose level rise? That cannot be insulin, ma. There must be glucagon. So it must mean that glucagon is causing the rise in the glucose level. So why? Because glycogen is converted to glucose. 19 to 22. No. 23 to 25. No. 26 to 29. No. 30 to 32. 33 to 35. 33. Now this is how we have P and Q and they already say are gametes to fuse to form R. R is your zygote, so zygote must have again diploid number of chromosomes. Your P and Q are haploid number of chromosomes. They say R will then produce gametes S, T, U, and V, which means that S, T, U, and V must have the same number of chromosomes as P and Q, right? So now let's see, they say which one of this is correct. P and Q are the number of chromosomes are different. They should be the same, okay? 23, 23, so you can become 46. Next one, B, the number of chromosomes in P and S is the same. That is also, again, this is correct. The other one is wrong. So B is correct, right? Next one, C, number of chromosomes in S is 1/4. No such thing as 1/4, either full or half. Alright? Next one, number of chromosomes in T is half in Q. Wrong. T is the same number of chromosomes as Q. So answer is B. 34 to 36. 37 to 40. 37. The girl has menstrual cycle of 28 days, begins menstruation on the 5th of February. Which days will her progesterone levels increase most rapidly? Increase most rapidly is again after your ovulation, alright? So let's ask, for ovulation is always on day 14, right? So 14 days from 5 is 5th February is what? Do you see? That's why the only answer I can say is again C, because that is showing you your ovulation period. Okay, so ovulation you just plus 14. 39 to 40. No? Okay, then with the last time, I will end up here today for bio. Again, a tip for your this bio paper, please take note. Always take note of the 3 tips. Consider all options. Never ever be complacent. Sometimes there may be another better answer. I repeat, sometimes option may be close. So never ever choose again, alright, your this first option that you see. Always consider both options. So we are never choosing the perfect answer. We are choosing the best option out of the 4. Understand? Always number 2, do by elimination. Do you see I always been doing elimination? Your brain functions better and feels less burden if you actually do by elimination. Last one, again, write your thoughts down. Your brain functions better when you write your thoughts down. Okay, your goal for MCQ is 38 and above. Alright, can be done one, really can be done, and really will help you pull your grades up very well. Okay, with that, sayonara.